There are so many browser extensions that it can be hard to figure out which ones to use. So here's a complete list of all my favorite Chrome extensions for staying focused, keeping ideas and inspirations, writing, organizing your time, and more. If you browse the web a lot, you probably come across lots of ideas and inspirations. In that case, you want to use a bookmark manager so you can keep all of them in one place. The most popular one is probably Raindrop. You can save any web page, picture, video, or a PDF with just one click. If you just want to save a sentence, you can just highlight it and save it too. All of them are stored in your Raindrop library, so you can see them later. What's special about this app is how cheap it is for the features it provides. It's only a few dollars a month and you get tons of features and integration with other apps. But recently, there have been new bookmark managers with AI. Fabric is one of them. Because it's a new tool, it's not as polished and doesn't have as many features and integrations as Raindrop, but its AI features are really cool. Just like Raindrop, you can save any web page and stuff with just one click. You can even add your own notes. But what's different is that it uses AI to analyze the content, so you can ask it to find what you need instead of you having to go through the library yourself. I find it very useful and it saves lots of time. So I have been using it for a while now instead of Raindrop. And there are more and more similar tools like this, such as Zenfetch and Mymemo. They are quite similar to Fabric, so I think it's best to keep an eye on them for now. If you're curious, I put the links to them in the description below. Now, as you browse the internet, you probably come across lots of articles that you want to read later. In that case, extensions like Pocket or Instapaper are great. You can send any article to your reading inbox instantly with just one click and read it later. They are both cheap and work really well. But personally, I've been recommending Reader for a while because it's as cheap and I love the design and the reading experience it provides. If you want to make highlights on a web page, you can simply use the extension, which then lets you create highlights directly on the web page. But if you want to continue reading later, you can just close it and read it later on the app. Plus, if it's too long to read, they have a neat AI tool called Ghost Reader that gives you the summary of the article. But if you don't want a summary, you can even ask it questions that you want to know. This is a much quicker way to find what you need and save time. Glasp is not quite a read it later app, but more like a core learning tool. And basically, whenever you find an interesting article or a YouTube video, you can enable this extension and make highlights or take notes. All of these highlights and notes can be found on your dashboard. But what I like about Glasp is that you can also see what other people are learning, which is great because you get to discover new articles to read or new videos to watch. So if you like the idea of reading and learning together, Glasp is a great tool to use. If you spend a lot of time online like me, you might want to use some online security tools to protect yourself and your family. Cyber threats like malware and phishing are increasing, and I've seen some of my friends get hacked. One of the best tools I've been using is SquareX, who's kindly sponsoring this video today. SquareX is not just a browser extension, but a complete toolkit to protect you online. One of my favorite features is the disposable browser, which is like a burner browser that lets me view websites in a remote virtual environment. This means it allows you to surf the web anonymously from any location. This will help you access websites and the content that you normally can't, as well as protect you from malware and phishing attacks. Also, as a bonus, it also blocks ads and the trackers so you can browse faster and safer. And when you are done, you can dispose of the browser session entirely with just one click, leaving no traces behind. SquareX also scans email attachments and downloaded files right in my browser, catching threats like malicious macros in documents, which is one of the most common ways people get hacked. I love that this is all done right in my browser, so I don't have to download and install anything. I can also view any file from the internet safely in the disposable file viewer. And speaking of emails, you can even use SquareX to generate random email addresses for when you want to sign up for something, but don't want to use your real email address. This way, you can keep your personal email safe from spam and cyber criminals. Getting started with SquareX is super easy. I just added the extension to my browser, signed up for free, adjusted a few settings, and it's good to go. You can download it right now from the link in the description, or simply go to sqrx.io/so_yt. Another crucial aspect of online security is having a strong password. I used to use the same password for every site, but I think one of them got hacked and it was a nightmare. So I started using a password manager, and honestly, it's one of the best things I spend money on in my life. There are so many password managers like Dashlane, LastPass, and NordPass. They are all great, even though LastPass had a massive security breach last year, but it really depends on your preference. I personally use 1Password, and it's been great for me. It can instantly generate a strong password for you and store it safely in a vault. Also, it makes logging into a website a breeze. You can just click the 1Password button in your browser, and it fills in your password and the username. It not only gives you peace of mind, but also saves a lot of time. Speaking of saving time, using text snippets is also a great time saver. Extensions like TextBlade are really helpful for this. Essentially, instead of typing out the same thing over and over, you can set up shortcuts in TextBlade. Then when you type the shortcut, it automatically expands into the full text. For example, let's say you often start emails with, "Hope you're doing well, thanks for reaching out." You could make a TextBlade shortcut like TYX for this. Then in your email, you just type TYX and it types out the whole greeting for you instantly. You can set up shortcuts like this for anything you find yourself repeatedly writing, and whether it's a full email template, a frequently used phrase, or a link you always share. But they have more advanced snippet options as well, so you should check it out. Nowadays, many browsers already have their own AI, but it might not be as good as some of the standalone AI assistants. One of the best ones as a browser extension is Perplexity. Whenever you have a question in mind, you can hit the extension button and ask it. I love how quickly this works and how the answers come with references and a list of follow-up questions, which make it much easier to dive deeper into the topic. Plus, this is completely free for now. And if you're a student or academic researcher, SciSpace is a great AI assistant. For example, if you're reading a paper and you don't understand something, you can simply open the SciSpace extension, highlight the part you don't understand, and have it explained. But there are more things it can do, like explain complex maths or find related papers based on the topic you entered. It basically makes the research process a lot easier. Now, one of the hardest things while using a browser is staying focused on the task you're working on. It's very easy to get distracted and end up scrolling through social media for hours. So to prevent that, there are a few extensions like Forest and Opal that block distracting websites. Forest is probably the most famous focus app in the world. You can set a timer for the amount of time you want to focus on, and when the time is up, you get to plant a digital tree. Opal is a similar tool but with different types of blocking websites. You can just block them normally during a focus session, or you can choose to have them always on when you're working. But if you want to go extreme, you can try a deep focus timer, which you cannot cancel until the session is over. So you have no choice but to keep on working. But I find it a little cumbersome to add websites to the block list in Forest or Opal because you have to do it manually one by one. So if you don't want to do that, you can use Blocksite, which lets you block websites more easily by categories or keywords. So that might save a bit of time, but it's not free. There are also some extra features that come with the paid plan, like password protection and a custom block page, but I'm not sure if it's worth the extra money. Now, if you want to play focus music while you work or study, Noisli is a great browser extension. With just one click, you have access to different curated playlists for focus or relaxation. There are also 28 background sounds that you can play or combine. I used to go to YouTube to find some focus music before, but I like Noisli more because I don't get distracted by other videos while searching for music to play. Plus, it has a timer too, so you can set the time you want to focus and start working. When it comes to organizing your tabs and keeping your browser clean, there are many extensions available, but honestly, I don't think most of them are necessary because most browsers now have pretty good tab management tools like Workspace, Groups, and Folders, but there are some interesting ones like Manganum. This extension adds a sidebar to your browser where you can quickly switch between apps like Google Calendar, Google Keep, Tasks, YouTube, WhatsApp, ChatGPT, and more. So if you use these apps often, this might be a very useful extension. Now, speaking of tasks, it's nice to have an extension that lets you add and manage tasks right from your browser. If you use Google Task, they have Taskboard, which is really nice Kanban board style to-do app. For many people, I think this app is just enough. But if you want more, apps like Todoist and Ticktick are great alternatives with more features and customization options like filters, labels, groups, and priority. Now, if you have some tasks that you do repeatedly, there are more browser extensions that can automate them. Bardeen is a new one that uses AI to create automations for you. For example, if you have to have Zoom meetings, create summaries of them, and then send them to Slack, you can just describe this process and it will create an automation. Now you just need to test it, tweak it, and you're good to go. And the next time you have a Zoom meeting, just click the button in the extension and it will automatically create a summary for you. There are lots of things that you can do with it, so it is definitely worth a try if you want to save some time. Speaking of meetings, TLDB is a handy tool that works with Google Meet, Zoom, and Microsoft Teams. You can use it to record a meeting, transcribe it, take notes, share clips of the meeting, and more. It's kind of like an all-in-one tool for anybody who has meetings with lots of people. It basically makes it a lot easier to share notes and communicate with your team and clients. The next ones are extensions for screen recordings and screenshots. You might not use them at all, depending on your job, but if you do, these tools are really useful. Probably the most popular one is Loom. This is great for creating video messages and tutorials. Personally, I prefer sending video messages to having actual meetings because people can watch them whenever they want at their own pace. I haven't used this for a while, but Loom seems to have added a bunch of new features to make it easier for people to digest the information, like removing filler words and generating a summary automatically. Tella is another good option for recording screens and audio. Unlike Loom, it gives you more freedom on how to edit the video. You can change the layout of the video, add a zoom, and so on to create something that is more appealing to your audience than a plain, boring screen recording. But if you want more than that, Scribe is perfect for making not just a screen recording, but also a step-by-step guide. All you have to do is start recording and do the process you want to show. Then Scribe will automatically turn this into a step-by-step guide that you can share with your team or friends. So if you often need to train new people or show something to your team, this tool should be able to help. Okay, let's now talk about writing tools. Everybody writes, and it's nice to have some tools that can help you write better. For fixing grammar and spelling errors, Grammarly and Ginger are great. They are almost identical in what they do. They check for spelling and grammar errors as you write and give you suggestions on how to improve your writing. Quillbot is similar to them, but it does a little more than that. Like Grammarly, it also checks for spelling and grammar errors and lets you fix them instantly, but its writing platform provides a range of tools that help you write faster and better, especially for students and academics. So my favorite feature is this sidebar where you can research information on a topic you're writing about and add it to your source list, and then paraphrase it and so on. It's so nice to be able to write and research at the same time in one place. There are a bunch of other features that I really like, such as AI review, which gives you feedback on your writing, and plagiarism checker is crucial too if you use even a little bit of AI for writing. So I personally recommend Quillbot over Grammarly and Ginger. Another AI writing tool that I recommend is TextCortex. It's not just for writing, but also for quick research and questions. Just like you use ChatGPT, you can open the extension and start typing a question or some keywords to find the answer. But the coolest thing about it is how customizable it is. There are many settings you can adjust, so AI writes or responds the way you want. If you wanted to write just like you can feed your writing style into it, so it learns to write like you. And there are also a bunch of templates you can use to write more efficiently. I did a full review of this tool before, so check it out if you're curious. When browsing, sometimes you want to write down your thoughts and ideas. For that, there are many good extensions available depending on the note app you use. But an interesting one that I found recently is Saner.ai. It's a Chrome extension that lets you take notes as well as add highlights from the web page you're on. Then all of your notes are saved in your inbox. Since it has AI, you can have it tag the note automatically or find similar notes in your library. You can even have a conversation about the notes and the documents you uploaded. It's still a little rough around the edges, but it looks like a great tool. Finally, for organizing your time and scheduling appointments, there are tools like Calendly, which everyone probably knows about at this point. Personally, I've been using this extension called Agree To, which basically does the same thing. But I like it because it's super simple and easy to use. Some people find scheduling links rude, so having this option to toggle it on and off is a great thing. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching till the end. And if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!